Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's live stream. I hope that you are all doing well. Welcome. Tonight we are going to be discussing a couple of interesting things. We have Brie Larson teaming up with Nintendo. I think that everyone here probably has very harsh opinions on Brie Larson. She has said some very interesting things during her time playing Captain Marvel and during the Avengers, so this comes as a shock to many people. To me, it really doesn't. We hadn't seen Brie Larson in a couple of months, so we knew that her time was coming to promote some sort of product or be in some sort of movie. We're going to discuss the Manga Gamer leaked Discord logs that unfortunately showed staff mocking and insulting fans. Now, Manga Gamer is a company that does localization work when it comes to things like video games, and unfortunately, they have been mocking and insulting fans. We're going to talk about Star Trek Picard and how the showrunners are saying that in Season 2 there will be much more LGBTQ representation. I, of course, don't have a problem with those things, but the problem that I do have is how they are just shoehorning in the diversity politics and the forced diversity, to me, is the problem here. And we're also going to discuss how Valve is talking about an Artifact 2 reboot. Now, Artifact was a digital TCG they came out with about a year ago, and it failed. It failed because it was a cash grab. It was an awful cash grab at that. And they're talking about rebooting it and doing a 2. But welcome to the live stream, everyone. I hope that you guys are doing good. Unfortunately, YouTube tonight didn't actually send out notifications again. Last night we were having a problem with YouTube. They weren't sending out live stream notifications, and it seems like tonight's didn't either, and it's also still not popping up in the sub feed. So if you are watching this back, and it didn't pop up in your sub feed, please make sure to leave a comment. But welcome to all of you that are in the stream right now. Before we get into the topics, I will chat with you guys for a moment. Unfortunately, YouTube has been causing us some problems the past couple of days, due to, a lot of streaming services right now are having problems. They have turned off 4K, and they've done a lot because they're trying to deal with how many people are actually using their services, but it's causing a really big problem, especially for content creators. Interesting is definitely a way to say it. Welcome, everyone. Just want to wish everyone well and hope everyone is healthy and happy and positive and has food. That's good. Having food is the good part there. Hopefully everyone is doing okay. Why the hell is Valve working on Artifact 2? So I think that the thing with Valve is that they see how big the digital trading card game market is and how many people truly are kind of interested in the market, in the games that are out currently. We see the success of games like Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering Arena, so I think that's why these companies are really kind of pushing to create a digital TCG. A lot of companies right now are doing this. They are trying to push their teams into making a digital card game or taking their IP in the direction of digital TCGs. I feel like because they have so much success right now, or at least most of the big ones are having success. I do know that some of the digital card games, haven't done as well, like Gwent. Gwent has been having a problem, but I think that there's just a very big market for it, which is why so many people are, or why so many companies are really trying to push their way into that market. Hope all is well with you too. I was excited for the Half-Life VR game. It looks so good. I know that released, today? I didn't purchase it. I don't have any plans on purchasing it right now. I'm personally not a really big fan of VR. It's not that I don't like it or I don't like the concept. I myself just don't do a lot of VR. But I have watched a little bit of gameplay of it, and it does actually look pretty interesting. I think that it looks cool. I think that the reason why it's going to do so good and why it is going to sell so well is just because it's called Half-Life. I think that honestly is the main draw for a lot of people. Stream's working good, fingers crossed it keeps working. Yeah, the past few days, yesterday's stream, we disconnected like 4 times. Unfortunately, notifications didn't go out properly tonight. It's not, my stream's not even showing up in the sub feed. I'm honestly not sure why. But I really hope that this doesn't continue. Obviously, I leave the live streams on VOD so people can watch it back later on. It is what it is, unfortunately. Life sim games baffle me. I like life sim games. I did purchase Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I have actually been playing it. I have really enjoyed Animal Crossing. I'm a fan of the life sim game genre. I think that it's just very easy, very laid back. Maybe going to Brie Larson to promote this game, though, Nintendo, wasn't the best idea. Brie Larson is a very interesting person. I don't know if she's the best. Pray for the broadband gods for stable streaming. Yeah, pray to the YouTube gods that probably hate me. Alright, you guys, we are going to get into the first topic, which is Brie Larson teaming up with Nintendo to promote Animal Crossing New Horizons. I have mixed feelings on this. So obviously, when you think of Brie Larson, or most of you guys that are here, when you think of Brie Larson, you think of Captain Marvel. Brie Larson has been in other movies and other franchises, but none that were the caliber, I want to say, of Captain Marvel. And during that time when she was Captain Marvel and when she was promoting the movie and everything in the Avengers, she made a lot of comments that a lot of people didn't like. It's understandable why. I mean, she would attack fandom. She would, say if you're a male, you shouldn't watch our movies, and a lot of, unfortunate things that a lot of people don't like, me included. But I don't know why Nintendo has decided to team up with Brie Larson to promote Animal Crossings, because I'm sure that the people that make these decisions of who they give money to and who promotes the game for them, I'm sure that they take into consideration their reputation with their market, obviously gamers and people that are interested in movies and TV shows and whatnot. So I find this decision a little bit odd. So Brie Larson teams up with Nintendo to promote Animal Crossing New Horizons. Brie Larson teamed up with Nintendo to promote their newly released Nintendo Switch game, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Larson posted an ad promoting the game on her Instagram. She first declared that the post was an ad before detailing her excitement about the game. Larson wrote #ad, already obsessed with Animal Crossing New Horizons. She continued, I've missed Tom Nook so much. If you are looking for sweet ways to spend time at home, I highly recommend you grab your Nintendo Switch and escape from your own island getaway. She concluded by asking, now who has iron nuggets they can give me? Really quickly, I do want to say that I did purchase Animal Crossing, and I have really enjoyed it so far. I think that the game so far is really fun. I mean, obviously, it's not very different from past Animal Crossing games, but the big difference is just the fact that it's on an island, and, you're one of the few people that are there, and it's a new experience when it comes to Animal Crossing, which I personally really like. But this kind of makes me cringe a little bit. It just kind of makes me cringe a little bit, because I think of Brie Larson and the things that she said and the groups of fandoms that she's attacked, and it makes me wonder why they chose to go with her. It really does. And obviously, I think that Animal Crossing right now has a lot of excitement around it, and so does Doom Eternal, but I think any game releasing right now is going to. Obviously, with the real-life situations and the coronavirus and people kind of being home quarantined, having to stay home, having to stay inside, a lot of people right now are picking up games and kind of checking off games on their list. I think that this couldn't have been a better time for a game like Animal Crossing to launch. Obviously, they didn't know that there was going to be this awful virus going around when their game launched. But I understand kind of why Nintendo decided to have celebrities promote their game. obviously they're just trying to get word out that the game came out and that, you know, just stay inside and stay home and do better things with your time than go out and possibly put people in danger. I can see why they are going to celebrities to promote their game. It was actually funny today, the governor of New York had actually asked Danny DeVito, the actor, to post on social media and say, stay inside, you know, we want you to be safe. And that was actually good. It is good that celebrities are kind of, you know, telling their audience, you know, be safe rather than sorry. Try to keep yourself safe, and it is understandable why they're going to celebrities, but I already read that part. While the above post is labeled an ad, Larson previously expressed her interest in Animal Crossing New Horizons back at the end of January. She was, you know, very excited about the fact that they had this new limited edition Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch, which, of course, many people were excited for. I didn't purchase this, but I actually really like the color scheme. I'm not someone that usually falls in love with, you know, special edition consoles and limited edition consoles, but I do think that this console, this Switch, actually looks really damn good. YouTube notifications are so screwed. Yeah, unfortunately my live stream's not popping up in the sub feed right now. YouTube has been a mess the past couple of days, but I figured we could try to stream and see if we could get anything out of YouTube, any success. But yeah, unfortunately YouTube is having some problems. She would continue to show excitement by writing on Twitter, "I'm crying," after Nintendo revealed 5 new villagers coming to the game. So it's obvious that Brie Larson didn't have this excitement because she was being paid and sponsored to talk about Animal Crossing. It is obvious that she did like the game and she was interested in the franchise. But Brie Larson, that makes me cringe. I'm sorry. Absolute cringe. She would continue to... I already read that. Yeah, this is the post. "I'm crying" when they had announced some of the new villagers. She would then share multiple threads of people comparing her outfits to Animal Crossing villagers. Honestly, this to me is just... It's like she's trying hard because she's like casually posting these pictures that people are instantly going to say, "Oh, look at the similarities. I mean, that shirt, pretty damn similar. I mean, that look obviously isn't new," but she's like wearing the shirt and taking out the merchandise, and I feel like she's trying to appear to being this big fan. She's trying to say, "Look at me. I'm this huge fan of this brand new brand new game in an existing franchise. I'm such a big fan. Can't wait." Like, it to me seems like she's trying a bit too hard, because obviously we are all fans of things. We're all fans of, you know, movies and shows and games. But I don't see many celebrities going online and for 2 months following up to a new game launch, like, promoting it before they were even paid to promote it, unless previous content of hers was sponsored and she didn't disclose that it was an ad and that she was being paid to kind of show off and promote the game. Which, in that case, that would be a completely different situation, which I'm not going to accuse her of doing that, because it's just me throwing out there that, well, it could be. But back in November, Larson also stated she loves Nintendo when President of Nintendo America, Doug Bowser, asked her if she preferred Luigi or Googie in Luigi's Mansion. She stated, "You're Doug Bowser, and now I'm nervous, and I love Nintendo, and Luigi is my favorite character, and thank you very much for everything, OMG." This is so cringe! Nintendo, why would you choose her? Of all people, we're talking about a celebrity that literally attacks fandoms because she can. Literally. She says men suck, women are better. If you're a man, don't go and watch this franchise that I'm in and women power. I think that women power is great. But when you're saying screw the men, what? Why? of course, we do know that she's also talked about her love for video games in the past and, like, dressing up as Metroid Samus for Halloween, which that was rumored that she was going to be Samus in, like, a live-action movie. Let's hope not. If Brie Larson is Samus, I'm going to be highly disappointed. This new Animal Crossing New Horizons ad comes after Larson appeared in a woke Nissan commercial where she tells viewers to refuse the compromise. I don't know. My thing here, my whole problem here isn't the fact that really Nintendo went to celebrities, because I think that it's perfectly fine for game companies to go to celebrities to try to promote their games. I think that that's normal and that's okay. My problem here is that they went to Brie Larson. She attacks fandom. She's very toxic, even though she says other people are toxic. She herself is very toxic, and it just sounds like this is kind of false on her end. She doesn't really seem to be a big fan. She's just kind of like, oh my god, I'm such a fangirl. And it just doesn't seem natural. Like me, I'm a fangirl of things. You guys are fangirls and boys of things. Let me not assume your gender. And we don't like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, look at this. Like, you, to a certain extent, don't... When you're a celebrity, let me put it this way, when you're a celebrity and someone addresses you that might be semi-famous as well, you usually don't act that way, and it just seems a little bit suspicious that because she's being sponsored by Nintendo, she's suddenly, like, freaking out about all of these people in Nintendo, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's me reading a little bit too much into the situation, but I would have rather have seen Nintendo team up with better, more positive celebrities. Maybe ones that aren't so damn toxic. It doesn't sound like something that she will say. Nintendo's big oopsie, another list of things Nintendo screws up on. I don't want to necessarily call it an oopsie, because they must have known her reputation among, you know, fans of movies and also gamers, because there were gamers she insulted. So I think that they probably knew that this would get a little bit of negative reception, but I kind of think that Nintendo wanted to use that to their advantage. Obviously, some companies view any press as good press, even if it's negative. I just wish they would have went with someone a little bit more positive. When I see that someone is promoting a video game or a product, I don't want it to be someone that I don't like, because then I don't want to buy the product, and then I don't want to support the product. Just my opinion, though. Alright, you guys. We will move on to the second topic in just a moment. Brie Larson is Samus. No, she's not a bad actress. I just think the role should go to someone younger and more likable. That's... My thing is that I don't really like Brie Larson. I think that she is a very mediocre actress. I do not think that she has any big... I do not think that she has a lot of talent. I've seen her in some other movies, like Room she was in. That was a really decent movie, but her character was just not very good. I feel like Brie Larson plays Brie Larson. And we see that with some other actors. We see that with, like, The Rock and Keanu Reeves, and they play themselves, but they're actually likable people, and their characters are always likable. And I feel like with Brie Larson, she never has likable characters. Her characters are always very unhappy and very negative, and I'm not sure. I wouldn't like to see her as Samus. It's not that I don't want that negative attention around, you know, a Metroid movie if there ever was one. I just don't think that I would want to see her as this amazing character that we might only ever get one telling of her in live action on the big screen. But it is what it is. I did purchase Animal Crossing. So far, it is very good. I've really enjoyed it so far. Did any of you guys in chat purchase Animal Crossing? I'm curious. She can act. I think that she is just a very mediocre actress. I think that she has talent to a certain extent, but after that, it's just bland and boring and just not for me. It's not like she's a Gal Gadot where she literally is just so likable in everything she does. It'd be weird that they would want press that leans negative. It's kind of, though, a lot of companies view any press as good press, so, I mean, what did Marvel think was going to happen with their woke new warriors? I mean, what did they expect? They most likely expected bad press, negative press, equaling any press is good press. Alright, now we are going to move on to a topic that really upsets me and really pisses me off, because I hate when people in companies insult and mock their fans. This, to me, is the worst thing that you could do as a company, or even as staff. Anyone that has a public image, this is the worst thing that you could do, is literally admit that you hate the people that you are supposed to be selling your products to. Oh god. It's just awful, in my opinion. Manga Gamer leaked Discord logs show staff mocking and insulting fans. A recent leak of chat transcripts from the official Discord server for Manga Gamer shows staff members from the video game publisher mocking and belittling fans for harmless interactions, such as taking issue with localization changes and voicing their confusion over unclear server rules. Manga Gamer, I'm just going to read to you their description really quickly. Manga Gamer is a video game publisher specializing in English localization and distribution of Japanese visual novels. It is run by a Japanese-based company, Japan Animation Contents. They've done the Expression Amrulada, they've done Imuto Paradise. I mean, they've done quite a few things. They are a pretty well-known localization company. If you know much about localization or, visual novels, you most likely will have heard of them. I mean, they're not the largest localization team, but they are still pretty big, and as a fan of visual novels, and as someone that talks about visual novels quite a bit on the channel, I have heard of them quite a few times, and this is disgusting. In the leaked messages, various users bearing official roles in the server, including localization team, support team, senior staff, and QA team, discussed their issues with fans in locked staff exclusive channels. Now, this was leaked. Obviously, not everyone that goes into their server can see these messages. So there was someone that must have not liked how these mods and how this staff, another staff member, must have not liked how this staff was talking about their fans, and they decided to kind of publicly put them on blast and release these private, messages and these private chats. In one exchange, a staff member dismisses a complaint about a translation in a Rants game, with others concluding that Rants fans are the worst. I want to shove that bear person off a cliff, because if you don't agree with how something is translated, then it has to be wrong. LOL, the Rants whiners are the worst. It's sad because he is actually clueless to why Rants games are slow. Rants fans are genuinely annoying. I know two who aren't, but they seem to be the exception. TFW, genuinely annoying. In another, a member of the localization team expresses their annoyance with fans suggesting titles for translations via a dedicated channel, and again dismissing a complaint about an alleged translation issue. Honestly, I feel like the best thing to do with the license suggestion channel is ignore it. Just let the morons spam it with stupid shit. Eventually, it's just going to be entirely a VNDB anyway, and it keeps them occupied. The morons! It keeps the morons occupied. It's like a busy box for the rubes. Let them post about what they want to see that will never ever be translated. So the fans are saying you should translate these things and you should do these things, and there are staff openly admitting that they will never ever see these specific things being translated. I talked a couple of months ago about another translation team actually talking about how they actually did kind of talk about it on Livestream, but said, we felt some specific things in this game when we were translating. It was offensive and toxic, and we didn't think that they should have been translated, so we didn't translate them. You know what we did? We just completely removed those things and changed them to be what we want. That is not okay. When you are a localization team, you are there to do one thing, and that is translate. It is not your right to remove content. If developers have created the specific line, even if you don't agree with it morally and you think that it's wrong, that's not your job. Your job was not to censor it and translate it and take out what you felt was offensive. Your job was strictly to translate it for the company. The company can do what they want. They can remove those lines. They can keep those lines. It's disgusting to see translators openly admitting to just changing what they want and saying these things are awful, and even like insulting fans. It's just, to me, it makes me not want to ever support these type of companies. God, I hate that kitty spam person. Well, they translated pedophile as pedophile. I don't know Japanese, but I am concerned about TL quality. Just gonna have them bitch to support, then immediately file it. I want to add something bitchy, like, or you could learn Japanese, but I will refrain. When a fan reached out to Manga Gamer inquiring about the potential sale of a title they were interested in, they were mocked and dismissed because the whole why buy full price when I can wait for a sale mindset is so fucking annoying. Yep, here it is. Hi, so I saw on your site, yada yada, and then it says the whole why, of course, buy the full price when I can wait for a sale mindset is so fucking annoying. I get wanting to save money, but like, don't beg the fucking publisher / company for that info. No one is actually going to give you that info. The amount of stupid in the support box is unreal sometimes. Blame Steam for creating that mindset in the first place. Blame Steam? Blame Steam because they, create sales? Literally every product to sell to consumers has probably gone on sale. Steam was not the first company to go, why sell everything at full price when we can just put it on sale for 10% off and get double the sales because people see a sale, people see that it's discounted. Literally, this person is saying blame Steam for creating the mindset for people of, oh, things go on sale all the time. Of course consumers can wait for something to go on sale. That is perfectly normal and that is perfectly okay. Why is this such a big problem that people want to wait to save a little bit of money? Why the hell are you going to insult people for that? After a user was chastised for inquiring about the sexual content in a visual novel, others began discussing the potential of opening a NSFW channel and voicing their confusion over the specific server rules regarding NSFW content, only to be met with condescension from a staff member. I just want to say, when you are a server that promotes, and because you're a company that sells visual novels, which are sometimes adult rated, you probably should have a not safe for work channel. Even in our Discord, the Dark Titan Discord, I don't talk about NSFW stuff a lot, but I still have an NSFW channel. I think 90% of servers that are YouTubers and content creators have an NSFW server, especially when you're, a server that does deal with adult content sometimes. Someone says, would you children knock it off? It's not because people get offended. It's because this is a company server, and if you want to talk about NSFW things, it should be our products. No one said that they don't want to talk about your products in the NSFW channel. People are asking for an NSFW channel. They probably will talk about your content. This person, Mr. Hardcore, which I will talk about in a minute specifically, is taking the mindset that, well, you're an R server, so you can't talk about any other products unless it's ours. If you just want to shitpost and share random other porn, you can do it on your own personal servers. Who asked to just share random porn? What? Also, Also, if you're looking for / talking about game wrecks, we have a channel for that. Please use it. I'm confused. What exactly did we do? You know, maybe an NSFW chat wouldn't be a bad idea. People could be as naughty as they want and post pictures of your games as well. Of course, they had said, you know, if you just want to post random porn and jerk off with your buddies, you can make your own server for that. This is so toxic and just... It's honestly just disgusting the way that these mods and this staff are talking to their consumers. This isn't going to get anyone to purchase your products. No one said that they want to post random porn and jerk off with their buddies. They're simply asking for a channel, because I'm sure if you went into this server and you posted a not safe for work link, they would flip out and ban you instantly. I'm sure they have rules against that. By the way, their server is closed now. If you go into their server, it instantly boots you out right now, so I couldn't get into it. I guess I'm just not cool enough. I haven't seen any NSFW channels here. Perhaps you should get your eyes checked. Almost everything in the product hub section is NSFW. Okay, then people should be able to post NSFW content there. Is that such a damn problem? Now, that's all we know. Manga Gamer has not publicly commented on the leaked messages, and I do just want to say I did reach out to Manga Gamer, and I also reached out to one of the staff here, Mr. Horrorcore, since he is one of the lead staff members, and I got blocked on both accounts. Actually, the Manga Gamer official Twitter, I did not get blocked on, but they limited messages, meaning I can't message them, and I can't follow them. And Mr. Horrorcore, I reached out, I was very nice, I just said, hi, you know, I'm a YouTube content creator, I discuss things in the gaming and entertainment industries, and I really would like to see if you guys had any comments, you know, on the recent leaked messages from your Discord server. I know that a lot of people are very bothered by them, and I wanted to give you a chance to, you know, discuss, you know, your side of the story. I do like to do that before I talk about something, but of course, I was instantly blocked by this lead localization team member, and they muted me on their official page, so I will not be purchasing anything from them anytime soon. If any more messages comes out on the situation, I am very happy to discuss it, because they obviously do not care about their public image, especially when people are reaching out, allowing them a chance to clear their public image, so that's their choice. Vera's Discord is better than Manga Gamer's Discord. I allow not safe for work content. We don't allow full nudes of real people, to be respectful, but we do allow NSFW of fictional characters, guys. Fictional characters in fictional worlds and fictional settings and fictional stories. Word fictional there. Full nudes are life. So that's all that I really had to discuss with that topic. They ignored me. They did not want to respond and reach out to me, so that was their chance. I was really hoping that they'd give me a statement on this. They'd say, you know, it's a big misunderstanding. Yes, we do have some problems with, you know, some of the members of our communities, and, you know, as you know, I do understand that if this is your job, sometimes people get upset with, you know, their staff or even their fans. I mean, look at GameStop. Sometimes you have that one employee that really doesn't want to be around what they call toxic incels. It is what it is. Sometimes comments do slip out, but where there were so many comments that came out at once, I thought that they would make a statement, but apparently they just want to damage their reputation and they don't care about what people think about them, so that's their choice. Thank you, Vera. No problem. Vera, don't hold back. It's very upsetting to see people insult their fan bases. It's like I said in not today's video, but yesterday's video about Project Melody. You know, I said the writer of this article probably likes something. If we went and attacked something they liked, they'd probably be upset. Same situation here. You know, it's okay when you attack someone that's a fan of something, but it's never okay when someone attacks something you're a fan of. Oh no, that's not allowed around here. Alright. It's just upsetting to see companies and people in companies consistently insult their fan base. It really is. It's tiring. It's very tiring. So the next topic that I wanted to discuss was Picard. Now, before we get into Picard, obviously there's only one more episode of this season, and so far, I think that the show has been okay. I don't think that the show has been amazing. I don't think that the show has been the best Star Trek experience we've ever gotten, but I do think that overall the experience has been okay. But I am worried going into season 2, especially when showrunners make statements like this. Now, I just want to say, because we're talking about Michael Chabon seemingly promising more LGBTQ plus representation for season 2, I have no problems with LGBTQ representation. I have no problems with these things. The problem is when you're forcing it into franchises and, you know, shoehorning diversity and inclusivity into everything. That's the problem that I have with it. It's not natural. It doesn't come across like it's part of the story, because when this happens, usually they put more of a focus on the LGBT aspect of the character rather than the character's personality and character traits themselves. So the Star Trek showrunner seemingly promises more LGBTQ plus representation for season 2. Michael Chapstick, I'll call him that, I like it. If Michael Chapstick is anything, he's very open with fans and detractors about creative choices with Star Trek Picard. He's taken up the practice of answering fan questions on his Instagram. I'm just going to say one thing. If you are a showrunner of anything, or you are a developer of something, or you are a public, someone that, you know, the public looks to for answers, don't do questions and answers. I hate to say it. I mean, we have like Todd Howard doing these things. We have authors for Star Wars doing these things. Don't do it. Just don't do questions and answers, because you end up saying something that slipped out that you weren't supposed to let slip out. He recently was asked about LGBTQ plus representation in season 1 of Picard. A fan asked him, will we see any overt LGBTQ plus rep in season 1? I'm loving Picard, but there's been a lack. Thank you. First of all, whoever asked this question, why does there have to be LGBT representation in every show? Why does every show need diversity? I think that it's okay to have people of different races and genders and all these things. I think that's fine. But just because it's a big popular show, does that mean that there has to be this representation in these shows? It's getting to the point where we need more straight representation. Just kidding. There's plenty of shows that still have that. But it's still the fact that it's going to get to a point where it's not even diverse anymore, because that is all that you see on screen. I think you guys understand what I'm saying there. He answered by first stating, you're right. There has been a relative lack of emphasis there. Does there have to be an emphasis there? Can't you just do it and have it be genuine and have it feel natural? Does it have to be this thing where, oh my gosh, look at the show, it's got diversity and inclusivity? Does it always have to have like fireworks behind it? Can't you just do it? That's my thing. Can't you just do it? Do you have to make a big emphasis on it because you think that it's going to get more people to watch it? He continued, our characters' sexuality, or rather our understanding of them, emerged and evolved over the course of this season as our actors moved into and began to inhabit their roles. He added, it was an organic process, and references to sexual identity and history arise in a less explicit way. Finally, he seemingly promised that season 2 of Picard would see the next character's sexual identities more fully established. He answered, next season, that understanding will come more fully into play. So are you going to say all the characters are gay? Does Picard have a boyfriend? I mean, who? Who is going to be bisexual or lesbian or gay, or who are they going to shove that narrative behind? Because I'm thinking about these characters, and I don't want to say, I just don't see any of those characters being worried about relationships. I feel like Star Trek Picard, besides of course Soji, I feel like, of course, Soji, and then we had Bruce Maddox and his girlfriend. Besides those two relationships, we really haven't seen any relationships, which I think is good. I don't always want to see relationships in shows. Yes, it adds a little bit more depth, but we have two relationships that people are kind of, interested in. Do we have to have more? Do we have to switch everything around? Can't it just stay the way that it is now? I think that Picard so far is okay. I think that it's okay in terms of character development and relationship development. As reported by Airlock Alpha, Star Trek historian Mark Clark told Alpha Waves Radio that NBC was responsible in encouraging Roddenberry to hire minorities from the get-go. Clark stated the idea that Gene Roddenberry faced massive resistance from NBC into putting an African American woman on the bridge of the Enterprise, or an Asian American man, when in fact NBC was encouraging Roddenberry to hire minorities. Clark added, especially at that time, NBC was the first network to become all-color, and in tandem to that, it was presenting itself as the network of color, so to speak. Though Chabon claims that they want an organic approach to representation, one notable example from Picard that comes to mind that doesn't scream organic is 7 of 9. When Star Trek Voyager ended, her and the character left the series looking to explore a romantic relationship. We know all of that, okay? Yes, past characters have been hinted as bisexual and gay and lesbians, and that's fine. It's not something that's brand new to Star Trek, and that is important to know. But my problem is the emphasis here. Deep Space Nine did a better job on this issue with Dax rekindling an old flame from a previous host. You can check out the episode Rejoined from Season 4. The episode addresses the topic of love transcending bodies and forms. That actually wasn't a bad episode. It was a pretty decent episode. It appears that Chapman is attempting to make a play out of the Roddenberry book when it comes to representation. He does place an emphasis on the idea of building up the characters so that the references to their sexual identities are organic. This idea has worked in Star Trek, however, given how the show treated 7 of 9's, Chapman's commenting ring a little hollow. I think that, yes, this season has been okay. This season of Picard, in my opinion, has been like a 7 out of 10. It's had really good moments, and it's had less amazing moments. I do think that so far, the relationships have been organic. We saw Bruce Maddox and his love interest, and obviously we saw how entangled that situation got, and we saw Soji and, how entangled that relationship got. And now that those relationships are over, going into the next season, if the cast is going to stay together and these characters are all going to be around each other, there may be like a little bit more tension and there may be more interest from characters. I do think the relationships have been organic so far. I am just worried with what they are going to do in season 2. My thing is I think they should just do it. Why put an emphasis on characters, on this representation? Just do it. If 7 of 9 has a girlfriend next season, okay. If she doesn't, okay. If one of the characters is whatever the character may be, I'm just saying do it. Don't put an emphasis on it, and I think that it could be okay. It's not like this is brand new to Star Trek. Star Trek has diversity, they have representation, and they have for a very long time. I'm a little bit worried going into season 2, but I do hope that it is done in a good, organic, natural way, and that it doesn't feel forced, and it doesn't feel bad. I just hope that going forward, it's done naturally and smoothly, and it's not, bam, this character, is just coming out to everyone. I just hope it's done in a respectful way, because I feel as though with the, Marvel New Warriors, which I discussed earlier today in a video, I feel like it was kind of mocking the idea of diversity and representation in a way, because we have Snowflake, which is not a non-binary they, them. I feel like Marvel, the person that created these characters, is kind of memeing on that and kind of just using it as clout. They're saying this character is a non-binary they, them, and I feel like it is disrespectful in a way, which I've seen people say the same, online, so you may feel differently, but I feel like it's just disrespectful. Because they're just kind of like, ah ha ha, we're gonna make everybody mad, so we're just gonna create characters that are all of these different things. And they don't really respect the material in a way, and respect what it really means to be non-binary and all of these things. If relationships aren't pivotal to the plot, I dislike them in all cinema. I don't agree with that. Before we get into the next topic, the last topic of the night, I do like when there are relationships in plots, even if they're not the largest focus or factor in a show or, a movie. I do like that side romance. I think that it just adds a little bit more depth to characters, and it just adds... I feel like the thing with relationships in shows is that it really shows another side to a character. Let's look at Picard, for instance. Picard has always been a very compassionate, yet I want to say hard man. He's never been very, very soft, except for with some of the female characters. And, you're delving, when you start the shows with Picard in them, you see... these relationships that they're slowly trying to trickle in and all of the references. And it happened with Kirk, too. I do like when you see those relationships, but when they're not the focus. I don't want a relationship to necessarily be the focus of a story unless it's, supposed to be the focus. But if that's not the focus of the show, like Picard right now, relationships aren't the focus. I think it's okay to have them. Just do them in the right way. Star Wars 2, for example, just a garbage fire. Hey. I think all the Star Wars relationships are great, except Kylo and Rey. That one's awful. That one's not good. Alright, you guys, the last topic of the night will be Valve. I have talked about Artifact quite a few times at this point. Artifact was a game that Valve had come out with about a year ago at this point, and it failed. No one plays it anymore. I think that it's still technically up. But what happened was the basis of the game was really good. It was a good game at its core, but they slammed microtransactions into this title. It was not really playable unless you paid money into it. And yes, it was a buy-in, so you did have to pay $20 to get access to the game, which I don't necessarily hate. I think that it is okay when games have, a $20 or a $10 buy-in fee. I think that is okay, but a big problem I have is when you have a buy-to-play title and then you slam and cram microtransactions into it, which is unfortunately what Valve did with Artifact. But now, Valve is apparently rebooting Artifact. I'm just gonna say, if they did reboot Artifact, and this is real, and it's 1000% confirmed, and we actually see it release, it's not going to work. People have such a bad image of Artifact in their head, and I do too, as a fan of digital TCGs. Artifact was a fucking joke. And I think that if they come out with Artifact 2, Artifact 2.0, whatever they're going to call it, it's going to be bad. Artifact was an unmitigated disaster. I'm glad that Polygon's being honest. Valve's attempt at joining the card game genre didn't take off the way the developer had hoped, but that doesn't mean it's giving up quite yet. In a recent interview with Edge magazine, Valve co-founder and CEO Gabe Newell said that the company is working on a massive update for the Dota 2 collectible card game. Newell told Edge that the update is going to be a larger reboot, which he thinks is necessary in order to justify its existence to players. I don't know if rebooting it or even putting a ton of new content in it is going to save the game at this point. I think that no one plays it. Let's check the Artifact Steam charts really quickly. Why don't we just do that? Artifact Steam player count. I'll check it for you guys. So right now, the Artifact Steam chart is 103, playing an hour ago. And the highest in the past month that they've gone up to is 214. And it looks like they have been averaging around 50 players. Yikes. Those are probably the people that spent money on the game, then realized, oh, I just wasted a bunch of money on the game. Newell admitted that Valve was surprised when the first version of the game was met with a negative response, and he refers to it as a failed experiment. But he said that the team is now working on taking all things that the players didn't like and fixing them in the new version. Literally, I listened to people that reviewed this game and actually wanted to become a professional Artifact player. Everyone loved 90% of the content itself. The problem was the monetization. Literally, if you wanted to fix this game, make a big announcement and say, we fucked up with the monetization the first time around. We really didn't do a good job. But now we've changed everything. We've changed our model. I think that maybe that could work. That could get some people in. I know I would probably buy it for $20 if they removed the pay-to-win aspects and it was just a genuinely good game. But I think that that's the big problem with a lot of people. And if they are going into this reboot, this 2.0, and in a couple of months they release it and it's still the same shitty monetization method, it's not going to work. And it is definitely not going to sell. People are not going to buy it. Artifact debuted in December 2018 to a lukewarm reception. As players got more experience with the game's mechanics and its marketplace, the reception grew cold. And the player base began to disappear completely. In March 2019, Valve suspended further updates for the game in favor of stepping back and considering large-scale changes. So it took them a year of doing no updates to this game, no new content, to say, we're just gonna reboot it. A year of not updating your players at all as to what the hell is going on with your game. Imagine in that year how many people saw the game, were interested in it, maybe bought it, and now they don't care about it. You literally left your fans hanging for a year. There's no words yet on when this release or new game might be released, but Newell did use the phrase getting ready to release when talking about the developmental team's progress. While his choices of words may be tantalizing, it could mean just about anything. So we'll have to wait for Valve to provide more information publicly to know for sure when this revamped version of Artifact will be available. I think that that's the biggest problem here, is the monetization and the fact that they didn't actually update fans. Exactly, Ice. Also, hello, Ryan. They left fans hanging for, a year and a couple of months, mainly a year, because in March 2019 they announced they were kind of going on hiatus with it. I think that they should have updated fans in a couple of months ago. They should have said, we're going to be releasing content, we're going to release a new game, whatever it may be. They just left fans hanging, and I think that is a big problem. So that is all that I had to discuss for tonight's live stream, you guys. Unfortunately, if Artifact was to release, I want to say that I would give it a chance. If they did Artifact 2.0 and they removed the shitty monetization and they put new content in, I may be interested in it. I actually might purchase the game and I might actually play the game. I might give it a chance. But I think that Valve is going to double down and Valve is going to release Artifact 2.0 and they actually are not going to they are not going to change the monetization system, and that is why I think the game will fail. I think that this game is going to fail unless they literally go free to play with the game, or if it's $20 buy-in, they say all other monetization's gone besides cosmetics, because the game was expensive too. We're not talking about maybe $20 or $30 every couple of months to update your cards or, to get new items. No. We're talking about hundreds of dollars buy-in cost. I think to buy into Artifact at first was like $200-$300. That's a lot. That is a lot for a game that has not even gotten off the ground. I understand that it's a Valve title and that people were very interested in it, but just because you strap the name or the title or the company Valve to something doesn't mean you deserve sales at first. You do not deserve sales when you are going to treat your consumers like cash cows. So that is all that I had to discuss in tonight's live stream, you guys. We talked about Brie Larson teaming up with Nintendo. We talked about Manga Gamer, Picard, and we talked about Artifact 2 or Artifact 2.0. I will go to the Q&A portion of this live stream. For the next couple of minutes, if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free free to leave them in the chat now. We did get through the discussion stream with no YouTube issues. Unfortunately, though, notifications didn't go out, and there was a problem with that. But I'm still glad that I was able to come on and stream to you guys. I'm glad that there wasn't issues on that front. Valve obviously cares more about the money than making good games, but that's the problem. If you don't create a new game, I mean, if you don't create, like, a good game, then no one is going to buy your game. Your game has to be a specific or certain level of good. You can't just put out a piece of shit and expect people to pay $20 for it. They're not going to. If you look at the alternatives, like the competition that Valve was walking into, they compete with Hearthstone, which is free to play to a specific point, then you have to buy expansions. But they were also competing with MTG Arena. Magic the Gathering Arena is a free to play game. You can actually play the game without putting any money into it, and that is a huge thing. Is the fact that if you are going to test out this game, you would have to pay $20, and that was a big problem with Artifact. I don't think that it's bad to have a $20 buy-in cost and a $20 paywall in a sense, but the big problem that I had was the fact that it's $20, and then you had to spend like $300 to even get all of the cards that you needed to really play. You're not on my subscription feed, only saw you were live because of the sidebar. Same happened to me yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday my notifications didn't go out and I wasn't in subfeed, and today notifications didn't go out and was not in subfeed. Unfortunately, YouTube has been really messed up the past few days. I don't wanna like say it's anyone's fault or anything, but I mean, I don't understand why. Because I see other people, like larger channels like Tim Pool and The Quartering and all of them streaming, and their subscriptions are going out fine. Their live streams are popping up in subscription feeds and their videos are. Yet a lot of the smaller channels, it's not working properly. So unfortunately, that's a problem. But hopefully within the next couple of days, it gets worked out. I mean, even if notifications didn't go out, but my stream was still popping up in the sub feed, I would feel okay with that because I think that to me is the most important. But whenever I stream, it's always at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern. So, I mean, I think that a lot of you guys know that at this point. It's just unfortunate because, you know, new subscribers don't know when you're streaming, and I don't talk about my streaming schedule a lot unless it's on a live stream. So it's not like I say in videos, hey guys, tonight I'm going to be streaming at 8 p.m. Eastern or whatever it may be. But maybe, you know, Ryan, we should start doing that as in videos saying, oh, I'm going to be going live at this time tonight in our daily videos. Because I feel like if YouTube is going to throttle back, like live stream notifications and whatnot, then that might be the only way to, you know, share to our audiences that, you know, we're going live, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, I most of the larger channels I see are doing perfectly fine. I haven't seen any smaller ones, but I've seen the larger channels not have a problem. I guess it is what it is. You don't have $20. Yeah. Don't you guys have cell phones? Oh, geez. Comments that these companies make are hilarious. I think Valve is just trying to milk their dedicated fans in a crunch. Well, yeah, I mean, that is true. They do try to just milk their fans for anything that they can. I mean, even with Half-Life. People are saying that Half-Life Alyx is really good. To me, it looks like another mediocre VR game. But I haven't played it yet. I haven't watched all of the footage yet, so I'm not gonna judge it. I just don't think people wanted a VR game. But it is what it is. I have an incel phone. I like it. I can totally see large channels live streaming just fine. It's just smaller channels, including this one. Yongya's live stream was gone at 1.2 and he was still live. Yeah, unfortunately, it's been a problem, but, you know, hopefully it gets fixed and we can go back to normal and everything will be fine. So, alright, you guys, I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do very much so appreciate it. If you are not already part of our Discord, please make sure to join it. I tag you guys and let you all know when I am going live and when I am streaming, and also when my new videos and my new content goes up. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter if you are not already. I am very active there as well. I post new content and I share some edgier of my opinions on there. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, though. Have a fantastic night. I will be in Discord if you guys want to chat, and have a great night, everyone.